minus 0.1 gender pay gap at Vend. It's worth an applaud. AI is really also a part that we need to address because we know that it comes with the responsibility and it has environmental impact as well. 8 billion packages were imported to the EU during 2025.
8 billion?
8 billion packages.
Please, educate me. I need to learn from the experts.
Okay, so we're here in this room recording a podcast. Mari, who are you?
Who am I? I am the community manager at Vend. I do work here for almost 3 years. I started as a design ops, working only with the design hub. But now I work more with the product and tech company, the product and tech organization in the company. More about me. Let's see. I have a background as a product designer. I studied design myself. And I worked a lot with like a leadership and culture and how do you develop like a teams and the organization. And something interesting, actually, if we look at like a back, I studied fashion. Yes.
Nice.
So I have a very diverse background, and I think it helps me to work with communities and with people and so on. As a person, I am vegetarian. I am an animals lover.
I know. I've heard.
Yes. I like tattoos. I like to believe in horoscope. So I'm a Libra. So yeah.
We can do a separate podcast on that.
Please.
I guess.
Yes. But that's a bit of like me and what I do here. But you, who are you? Tell us.
I am the head of sustainability at Vend since a year back. I worked within the field of sustainability for almost 15 years.
Wow.
Started in like more the social part of sustainability in Shanghai in China, where I worked for many years. So I visited a lot of factories and making sure they live up to the requirements and the standards on like human rights and labor rights. But for the past years, I worked with the full sustainability agenda, which is then like reporting and strategy and targets and just engaging colleagues like internally and externally to drive this the sustainability agenda. So let's talk about why we are in this room together.
Yes.
Head of sustainability and a community manager. Yes. I can go first, some of my thoughts, and then we can discuss a little bit together. I think that for me, sustainability and communities, they really connect. Because at Vend, sustainability is not like a separate strategy or standalone initiatives. It's really part of how we work and part of our business model. And I think we have our vision, Smart Choices Made Easy. Yes. And I think in order to make that possible for millions of users, we need to start from within. And we are dependent on this like collective empowerment of our employees. Yeah. And I think also to be trustworthy and to create engagement and pride and awareness raising, we really need to do this together. So that's my key on this area, that we need to do this together with our employees. What do you say?
Yeah, I mean 100%, and I think that's why we've been working together lately in different fronts, because that's the whole thing with communities, right? Like for me, exactly what you said. What I try to do in my daily at work daily is to create space for people to come together and to understand we can learn and then we can influence the organization. So especially in the sustainability guild, we have one at Vend that started last year, and it started very small. They were reading a book, And then they realized like, no, but and then they got more people to join, and they realized like mapping out in the organization, like how they could influence and have these conversations that are so important, and how we can change not only how we work, but also the product that we offer. So that's the work with the communities. And we have the sustainability, and we have different ones as well, which is to create space for the employees to come together and to influence. And also it's a lot about learning and share knowledge, because we get to learn so much about sustainability from the community. We have you, and then you come, and of course, and you share the agenda and our goals and so on. But it's different, right? Like, and then we have some sessions that they can come and they can talk about not only our challenges at Vend, but what's happening around us, the entire world. So, yeah.
Interesting. But so your role there as a community manager is to support those, those communities to grow and to
enable,
yeah,
to not only to grow but to start. For example, the sustainability one, which it was one person who came to me like, I want to start a sustainability guild community. Like, let's do it. And then it just started growing and growing and growing in number of people, and also in number in what they are doing. As I said, started as a book club, and now they have a completely different agenda. Yes.
Would you say that a community always starts from the employee itself, or can it be started in some other way?
So far, it's what I want to do. It is to come from the employees, right? But we do have some communities that's more. It's connected to their domain, like what we call the domain community. So we have the engineering managers, and they have the product managers and the UX designers. So these, we cluster them as communities. And it's more like a need in the organization, other than someone that wants to start something like a sustainability, or we have like a women transforming tech, which is like a community thinking about the women in tech. So
this we need to talk about more also in this pod, definitely.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But I think there's like a both ways. But to your question, there's like both ways. It's more, but I want to enable any employee to feel like I want to start a community. But our community is connected of what we do at work. It's not running club or crochet, like handmade stuff, for instance, or like it's how we work and what we do at Vend, communities of practice.
And I think that's great, because I mean, all questions also needs to be driven from on top level and down and trickle down to the organization. But I really love that you as an employee also can drive that from the bottom and up, because that's also like a really important dialogue that needs to happen.
Exactly. And that's one of my enabling communities. For me, I think it's so important to fill this gap in between the leadership and the employee. And then we have this conversation, find a place in between there, midway, to have important conversations. Because there's so many things happening in the employee level that doesn't come up all the way here and the other way around. And I think empowering employees through communities is a way to establish this conversation. And learning from each other and have this knowledge sharing, making space, and learning as an organization. As I said, you share like so much from different domains, and you just get, as we become a learning organization.
And I think now we are recording this ahead of our Sustainability Day, which is taking place the 5th of May. And I think that's also a great example of engagement, since it's actually a day for everyone at Vend. And but it's driven, or it was also, the idea came from the guild.
Yes.
So I think that also shows that, that you can really also impact. You can like, although it's a community that is like limited to employees that are really, engaged in these questions, you can raise that, and you can get so many different functions on board and talk about it on a group level.
Yeah.
And also on this day, the 5th of May, I know that we will, the goal is really awareness raising of sustainability as an issue, of our impact as Vend, as a company that we have, and also then, of course, to recruit more members to the guild so it can become bigger across all the offices that we have. So I think that's, something to be very proud of, to have a Sustainability Day.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
And also I have to say, like, when it comes to the guild, I was actually in contact with members from the guild even before I started. So there's been a lot of engagement from colleagues.
I didn't know that.
No, but they approached me through other channels, and I think that's. But it's really interesting to see how people are like really interested and engaged in sustainability and are so. Experts on like both climate issues and tech. And for me also, since at Vend we have me as a head of sustainability, and then the setup is really to spread out the ownership across the organization where it belongs out in the function. But then of course I need eyes and ears out in the organization. And I think the Sustainability Guild, they also help to discover if there are some gaps or if some improvement opportunities that can be made in some process or in some playbook or in some policy. I don't know, it could be whatever, but just that they also are part of really driving that. I think I appreciate that a lot as a head of sustainability. And also something to say on the setup of sustainability. It's very clear in many companies that the past years, many companies went from having really big sustainability functions or teams to a bit more slimmed setup, where it's usually one person, and then you want to spread out the ownership. And although it's a new way of working, personally I think it makes sense, because now when then it forces sustainability to be part of decision making, to be part of the process that we have, part of the business model. So it's not driven as a separate agenda, a separate strategy. So it takes time to set that process up. But I think at Vend it's quite obvious that we can do this, because Vend is it's in our core business model to help people. Make sustainable choices, to buy secondhand, or to make these sustainable purchases. So I think it's an easy thing for us to do.
Yes. And very rewarding as well.
Yeah. But can you tell us a little bit more about some other communities? You mentioned the Women Transforming Tech.
Yes.
What's that?
It's a fairly new community. We started a few months ago, and we are just part of the Women in Tech conference here in Stockholm last week. So
how was it? You need to tell me more about that as well.
Yeah, it was really good. It was so many people, and we had our booth, Vend space there. It was so popular, and we're explaining a lot about what Vend is and what we're doing, because here in Stockholm people know about Blocket, but they don't understand what is Vend. So it was a lot about telling everyone what Vend is and how do we work. So we had about 20 employees from Vend, all women, representing us from different roles as well. And we are there to talk about Vend as a company and what's important to us, and sustainability one of them. So we were talking about that, and also like the gender situation that we have in Vend. So it's very important. I think not only at Vend, it's something for me as a woman. I think that's a topic that we have to talk all the time, you know. And we know that in tech there are more men, especially in leadership, than women, and there is a gap, and we know that, and how we can fix this gap. And not only, you know, it's so many things around when it comes to opportunities, to salaries, and also how one of the things that it's hard to measure is like how women feel in this environment. You know, do you feel seen and heard? You know, do you feel confident? How do you behave? So I think there's so many important things, and that's what we wanted to address with this new community here at Vend that we call Women Transforming Tech. And I think not only women, right? We wanted to bring men to the conversation as well. It's of course we want to create a safe space, as I said, to talk about the feelings. You know, the how do you feel in tech? But men should be part of this conversation as well. They have to be aware. They have to understand and to have some sort of empathy to the how it is. How do we feel? And then we have this women transforming tech. There is the LGBTQ plus.
Yeah, that's another community.
Yes, yeah. That it happens, and now we're gonna have in June the Pride Day. We also we're organizing something.
You did last
that.
year as well. I was part of. Of that last year.
Yeah,
I think it's been something we've done every year.
Yes,
right.
Yeah. It's important to us at Vend as well to celebrate and to talk about. And to again, I think it's about making room for people to talk and to be seen and to be heard, and you know, and share that with the rest of the organization, right? So I think that's the aiming, that we raise, you know, the concern, we raise the voice, we make noise if we have to make noise.
Yes, that's good.
But yes.
And when it comes to gender balance and these questions, this is of course something that, you know, from a sustainability, you know, strategy and targets that we work with, that's of course also something that is driven from top down as well. As a systemic way of working with ensuring gender balance across all leadership positions and across all employees. And I have to say just one thing also, when we talked about salary, you mentioned salary, that now when we close the 2025 year's reporting, we also saw that we had a minus 0.1 gender pay gap at Vend. And I think this, you know, is an incredible achievement, especially because in practice. So this this means that we have managed to effectively close the gaps between men and women in salary on an average. And I think it's worth an applause. And in looking at the European average, is still around 12%.
Oh,
so
wow. Okay. Yeah.
So I think that's great. Although it's just, of course, one part of the things we do, and that we need to, you know, track and make sure that we are balanced on. But I'm super proud of that. I have to say.
You should.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
But also talking about the Women in Tech conference, I know you were there on site, but we also did an online streaming. So I was at the office listening to a lot of these sessions, and there were so many things that I want to discuss, because there were a lot of interesting topics and speakers there. And one thing that I really, you know, that I took with me was also, you know, at Vend today we talk a lot about AI and how we work with AI and how we can do that in a, you know, in a trusted way and do that responsibly. And on the conference, it was mentioned that, you know, there is the physical AI and the digital AI. And I haven't really thought about, you know, dividing that in that way. But they talked about, you know, that AI can be used physically, for example, to like prevent suicide in Stockholm subway, or like drones that use thermal AI to smell a fire before the smoke is even visible. And I really like this angle, like how AI and technology can be a guardian for those things, for life and for nature. So it gave me really something to think about.
Yeah, because we work in a product and tech company, right? So we have digital products. So when we think about AI, it is in the digital space.
Yeah.
So when someone comes, but wait a minute, there's so much going on in the physical.
Yeah.
And I was very excited in that talk as well, because then it's super cool stuff and how we can actually improve. Actually, how we can use AI to improve our lives, improve so many things around, and not only being the digital space. I think that's where the product and the tech industry is getting a lot of disruption.
Yeah.
And again, if we bring that to the women perspective, like how do we fit there? Like you see, we even talk about the tech dudes, right? Like it is already so many men in the industry, and they're like going so fast. And where are we? Where do we belong? Where do we fit? So.
But I have to say also now, when we focus a lot on AI at Vend as well, I think it's been very clear. The message has been very clear that no one should be left behind. That this is like something that everyone at Vend we should have the same opportunities to upskill, although we are on extremely different levels when it comes to like how much and in what way we use AI. But we started last month with our Vend AI Day.
Were you in the part of the Vend AI Day?
Yes, I think we all were.
Yes.
Right. So it's a monthly
what
day.
Was it? Yes,
it's a monthly day where we just stop our regular work and then just learn and build AI. And I think that's I'm very proud of that we get the chance to do this, because we know that AI is here to stay. But I also want to say that, looking at the sustainability agenda and where we see that we have the biggest impact, AI is really also a part that we need to address, because we know that, it comes with the responsibility and it has environmental impact as well. So we have this area that we call trusted AI, because as we scale AI as a company, we are focused on doing it responsibly. So it's how we use it in our daily tools, and how we, of course, how we use it in the products, but then also how we upskill our employees to meet the future. Okay, so one other thing that we have focused on internally when it comes to upskilling the whole company is through this program called the Builder program. And I know you were part of that program.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, definitely. It was last year. So we were about like 100 employees. We signed up to be part of the program, and we learned how to automate workflows using this tool N8N, and then you can add some other tools to help you. And you can integrate with like a Google Drive and Slack, and you can use ChatGPT or any other AI to be part of this automation. And
sounds difficult.
Yeah, I mean, I think at first I also thought, man, this is so complex and complicated. Like I cannot. But you just have to go through and trust the process. It was so good because we have AI department in the company, and this team, they created like a course so that you can just, we have a learning platform at Vend, and then you have all the steps there. You have a video. So we have this colleague of ours, Ian, and he explains everything. So you just have to follow. And then you're like, I didn't understand. And then you can go back. And then sometimes I would be a bit stuck, like, no, I didn't get it. And then I could go back to what he was explaining. I went back 10 times, you know.
That's also good. Yeah.
But you learn, and then it became also a bit of like a community of builders in the company. We have like a Slack channel, and again, that's the power of doing things together. We talk so much about AI, but what's the human part of it? And one of them, it is when we come together, when we ask questions, and we share the knowledge and help each other. And that's something that we are trying to do more and more in the company. We still have to find a very good way to have this, to connect the dots and to share this knowledge. For example, if I build something and you want to build something similar, but you don't know I've been doing that. So how I'm going to make this accessible to you? So we are trying to find a way that we can make this easy and visible for everyone and continue this, because then we can build on top of each other, right?
Yeah.
And that's when we develop. That's how we learn and grow.
That's how we create the impact.
Yes, definitely. So I'm quite, it's, and I say this I said this many times on LinkedIn, and I say I'm very proud, you know, that I work at Vend, and I see that we have these initiatives like the builders, we have the sustainability guild, and that we take this topic so seriously and we make room. That's, I think, the most important thing. You know, there is space to have this conversation. There is space for us to learn AI. There is space for us to talk about, you know, to have the women in tech. There is, we use the resources for the important things. Yeah.
That's good. I also heard that, you know, during the Builders program, there were also some, I wouldn't say frustration, but it's also like that you couldn't access anything, like everything you wanted, because we have some restrictions.
Yes.
And I mean, from a sustainability perspective, where I come from, it's like, it's great that we have, you know, we can't access everything and we can't share everything. That we are like, we want to do this in a responsible way, taking like privacy and security and sustainability into account. And I think, you know, in the end, it's about our users, and they need to trust our platforms and trust what we do. Otherwise, they won't use it. So it's really like their choices. It will drive our work going forward, and also our sustainability work. And I also think now in the world that we live in and in the market that we are in, there are more and more players, and then trust is really like key in that. And when it comes to like trust and also the impact that we have, and that we need to be responsible in how we do it, I also want to talk a little bit about circular consumption, which is also a key area for us, of course. I think many colleagues at Vend, they work here also because of this, that we have, you know, re-commerce in our DNA, and that sustainability is a natural part of how we work and how we and our business model. And I think just by making it just as easy to buy pre-owned stuff as it is to buy new stuff, then we can extend life of products, and we can also replace the need to buy new ones. And that's really good. Like, that would really reduce the environmental footprint. And I think now, with these millions of people using our platforms, we can really have a huge impact, and also responsibility to nudge people in the right direction. And in this world that we're in now, where, you know, global platforms and Asian dropshipping companies are just flooding the markets, I think, you know, this is a challenge that we need to that we are addressing. I read in the Swedish Commerce had a study on how many packages actually entering Europe, and according to them, 8 billion packages were imported to the EU during 2025.
8 billion?
8 billion packages. And also a new study in Norway shows that 137,000 products enters Norway every day. And I think, you know, this is it's so problematic in so many in so many ways. And also we had this, we had a survey at Finn, the Norwegian brand that we have, Finn, made a survey called Bruktundersøkelsen just a month ago. And that study actually showed that, while Norwegians love secondhand, 4 out of 10 also shop from these ultra-fast fashion, low-cost platforms like Temu or Shein. So
I think I am one of those.
Oh, Mari.
I'm so I take pride because I buy my clothes on second. They're most of the time second hands. Most of the time, mostly of my wardrobe, it is second hand. And if it's not, I keep the stuff that I buy. So I have things that I bought 10 years, and I take care of them.
Yeah,
and I think that's the important thing.
Yeah.
So I take care of the stuff that I buy. And then I have also all my furniture, it is from Blocket. And I'm vegetarian, and I'm, try to be...
You do your part.
I try to do my part, but the small things, I avoid to take takeaway food. It's so much packaging. If I'm gonna eat out, I'm gonna eat out, right? I have this in my. I avoid packaging or this, IKEA plastic bags that you have at home. It's so easy, right? And then you put everything there, and then you throw it away. I don't have plastic bags at my place.
But still, you would buy at Temu.
But sometimes I go to Temu and I order stuff.
But I think after this session, you will not do it again.
Last thing I bought, it was the container for medicines that I could organize. So it was a plastic container, which I thought it would be bigger. I thought it was this size. And then when it came this is quite small, I thought it would be bigger, but it fit everything,
But you didn't then throw it away, as half of the people in the survey showed that they actually throw it away immediately after buying it due to poor quality or didn't look as the picture.
Oy.
But when it comes to then this container that you bought, now I'm gonna do some education because
please educate me. I need to learn from the experts.
Yeah. So if for example a European or a Swedish company would buy something from China, from a factory in China, they buy a product that is produced there, and then that company is responsible for placing that product on the European market. And to place something on the European market, you have a lot of legislation and standards that need to be met, like when it comes to chemicals or when it comes to product security. So it's a long list of things that needs to be, that it needs to comply with. But when you buy something on Temu, you as a private person are importing that product. And the Chinese factories knows this. So if it goes through a private person straight to your home, then no one will check if these regulations are
No one
followed.
takes the responsibility.
No, because it is, in the end, it's actually the private person's responsibility. But who could know about these regulations?
Oh, wow.
So, and that's then the problem, because a product can look exactly the same thing, but on the inside, it contains a lot of different hazardous chemicals or metals that it has been, banned for years or phased out for such a long time ago in Europe. And I read a Danish so in each European country, look at the Nordics, for example, then there is authorities that checks products that comes in. And according to all the surveys that have been made in Sweden and Norway, as an example, or Denmark, the majority of the products does not live up to the requirements. So, for example, in Denmark, they looked at jewelries, And let me give you an exact figure. Okay, so they tested jewelries, and they were visually they were similar to the things you can buy in a normal store, but it contained 8,500 times the permitted limit of cadmium. So cadmium is used in jewelry. It adds weight and shine to a jewelry, but it's highly toxic to the environment and can cause cancer. So all established brands, they have already phased that out years ago. So this you can't see by looking at it, but you can probably get sick if you have it. And it's the same with, like, for example, a charger. If you buy a charger to your phone, it looks the same as the one you can buy in your store here. But since no one follows up on the content, like, first of all, it can be labeled with that it's product secured, but it's not. And it also can contain a lot of toxic materials. So, and especially like the risk of fire is quite big. So when it comes to like Temu and Shein or these Asian dropshipping companies, I think Vend has a really important role to play here in like raising our voice and making sure, like, or advocating for a level playing field. Because we want that, buy and sell market should be done on equal terms. And here I think that Vend is really, advocating for circular consumption, which I think is great.
Amazing. But I learned today that as you, the head of sustainability, you have in your agenda 3 different things. Am I right? I don't know.
Yes,
Let's see
you're right.
what I learned, because I think when we talk about sustainability, environment and circular economy, what comes first. But then we're talking also about AI and.
Yes. Then the third one is inclusion and fair opportunities.
Okay.
Yes. And I would say this area is really about, where the internal meet the external. Like internally, it's about building diverse teams that have equal chance to grow.
Yeah.
And externally, it's about ensuring that our platforms reduce bias and remove barriers for all users. So this is also an area that, connects to many things that we have talked about today as well.
Yeah. It's so your work is internal and external.
Definitely.
It is so nice.
And then I would say sustainability covers it's both the environmental aspects, but it's also the social aspects. Although it's, always driven, like it's not only me that drives that work, because it really belongs to different part of the organizations, and it's like a joint effort to be able to do this.
Okay, but I think we've been talking for a few minutes more. No, we've been talking for a while, which is so much fun.
Yes.
The topics, like everything that we've been talking, for me, it's I could be here days talking with you. No, but thank you so much for having me in this podcast, talking to you about sustainability and your important work.
So thank you, and thank you everyone for listening to this podcast. Hopefully we will see you guys soon again.
Yes.
So thank you.
Woohoo.